not distorted. But what they meant to say was not reported. Before the torches come to town, we gonna burn this fort down.
Welcome back, FORTitude. Today's guest is the one and only Mr. Brian Estridge from local airwaves and national airwaves. We're grateful for your time, sir. We were friendly. We know each other. We love you.
Right.
You are well loved.
Thanks for being
Welcome
here.
to the show.
So
I feel like we're being critiqued. He's looking at us like
No,
we're
this
such
this is a
amateurs.
professional looking at a couple podcasters thinking, what in the hell are these guys doing?
You guys call this friendly? I mean, how do you treat others?
Yeah.
You just,
God.
How many retakes did we do before we started
Right.
this episode,
6
Brian?
so far, but I'm not counting.
So let's get into your bio really quickly. It'll take 30
No,
minutes
I
because
know.
it's
I
so
was going to
short.
say, I've heard you read bios before to try to run the audience
Brenton,
off.
this gentleman sitting across from us was born in some town called Kershaw in South Carolina.
You never had a Kershaw knife?
Is that where
never had
Sammy
a Kershaw
Kershaw's
knife.
from?
Yes, exactly. Doug Kershaw, Sammy Kershaw.
The extensive research team at FORTitude has
Right.
decided or just discovered that Kershaw is the home of about 2,000 people.
Yes.
It's a gold mining town originally.
Right.
And but you don't know who Major General J.B. Kershaw was.
Yeah, I do.
Who was he?
He was the guy that the town's named after.
He was the Civil War general, sir. Yes,
exactly.
I don't know if he's on the side, the right side or the wrong side. We'll let the history take care of that.
I was going
one,
to say,
but-
define that, right?
Yes, right.
For another day.
Well, at the age of 14, Brian Estridge auditioned for the local newspaper. And is his Kershaw as well?
No, I auditioned for a local radio station.
Radio station.
Yeah, same town.
Same town, Kershaw.
Right.
When he walked in to interview, he was so good with the gift of gab that they offered him a job on the spot.
Which, if you think about it, in a small town in South Carolina, meant I could read.
Fair
AM
enough.
or FM?
AM.
Okay.
he was
Listenership?
He was hired to
I
call.
don't know how many clicks will FORTitude have.
5,
we
including
have-
our
same.
moms.
We have
Same.
2 moms, so that's at least 2.
Okay, same.
So you were hired to call the local high school sports opportunities.
Sure, yeah. High school,
Did
did high school sport. Yeah, my
But-
first game was a 2A state championship.
That was your first game. Okay, I was going
Yeah.
to get to that, but
Yeah, I
the
did
2A
that.
South Carolina State Girls State Championship game.
Right,
Very
did
cool.
that, yeah.
After that, moving on along, you went to Appalachian State. I
Yep.
knew that. You graduated
Who
from
did
there.
Appalachian State beat in football?
Michigan, I
Thank
believe
you.
that was
J-Dub,
it.
he knows
Yes.
his stuff.
How does he know that?
You know, he's so smart.
But you called the football and basketball games at Appalachian State, correct?
for a time,
Couple
back in the
time.
90s. Yeah.
Then you were hired by Miami Redhawks to do their games.
Miami, Ohio, yeah.
Then Mr. Eric Hyman, the AD of one TCU, found you in 1998.
Fort Worth resident Eric Hyman.
Hired you to come be the voice of the Frogs, which you said yes or no?
I did say yes.
Okay, good.
Took a while,
Had you
but
been
yes.
here before? Had you been to Fort Worth?
I'd not been to Fort Worth before until 1997. Yeah.
Now I'll speed through this because I know you're looking at me with like, get me the.
Well, I mean, you're burying the lead
In
here,
2001, you were hired by ESPN Radio. You joined Newey Scruggs and then Randy Galloway on the air
Right.
for respective shows.
Right.
In 2009, you're currently WPAP hired you away to host the morning show with Mr. Hal J,
Correct.
also a friend
All
of the
legends
show.
there you're mentioning, yeah.
Yes. He one of the shows you discussed heart attacks symptoms and you saved a life. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
What?
Apparently, you discussed the symptoms of heart attacks on air. Somebody heard you having this discussion from their
Really?
car, and they noticed these symptoms with their spouse.
Oh, yes, maybe so. I remember that now. Yes.
I'm glad I'm.
Thanks
doing
for
some
jogging my
research.
memory about that. You know,
You can thank our research team for that.
Thank you for that. Okay.
So that happened.
Yeah.
You currently live in Colleyville.
Right.
And most importantly, the most important fact on the whole show is that you're married to an angel by the
I
name
am.
of Dr. Becky Ringer.
I am, yes.
So, yes.
And if she ever sobers up, I'm in trouble.
Indeed,
she'll leave
indeed.
me.
He's won numerous Texas Association Press Awards, Britain, Best in Texas 13 times. That's a lot. Play-by-play broadcaster for TCU football and men's basketball, among a few other college basketball games from Fox Sports Net and Mountain West Networks. He is the president of a company called Red Voice Productions, who broadcasts under the name of Game Day Radio, more than a few college football games, and I think the name has changed to Bowl Day, and then it's currently changed to its new name, First Team Radio.
Which has changed again to Bowl Season Radio.
Bowl Season Radio.
Yes.
Why so many changes?
Oh, it's an agreement with ESPN that we have to change periodically.
Yeah.
Makes perfect
That's
sense.
new content on Google searches and keeps you high on the SEO ladder.
That is true.
Right,
That is true.
right.
Thanks, Mark, for teaching me that.
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons my co-host asked if you owned or made mention of your fishing shirt, we did an intro for another show about
Right.
the exorbitant amount of fishing shirts shirts are being worn by males around Fort Worth.
I know.
And
it's a lot, right?
The first question was, do you own a fishing shirt?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
The answer is I do.
Yeah,
I'm wearing it.
The second is, one of our writers thought this would be really funny, is if I asked, explain sports to me.
Explain sports to you?
Yeah.
Can you explain sports to us, please?
And don't say sport. Say, you have to do it like Mitt Romney. Sport. Can you explain sport?
Indeed.
You have to do it like that. Are you done with the intro?
The intro is over,
And that's
sir.
our show for today. Thanks for joining us. We're taking up all the time for
Yeah.
FORTitude.
You see how close and
I know.
smooth he gets on that mic? Let me ask this, though, Brian.
Yeah.
Does one need to be a former smoker or current smoker to be good at this craft?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm neither.
Oh, yeah.
It is truly. It is all aside. Everything aside, it is great to have you on the show.
I'm glad to be
Your
here.
voice is known to many people, so having you in front of us, seeing your eyes and your face and your hair, it's just a privilege to be here.
Lack of hair. And then you realize that I have a face for radio.
You do.
Yeah,
Indeed.
so it works,
Well,
right?
we're on video now, so
I noticed
this
that,
might be
yeah.
your big video break.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I see the little tally light that Jay has set up over there.
Yes.
It's a little crooked, but he's got it. It's connected.
Very good.
Somehow.
Very good. So I wouldn't really wanted to ask you this, but this is more of a joke. But we know that your wife's a wonderful lady. How'd you get her? How'd you convince her to marry you?
Yeah, honestly, it's a good story.
Okay.
You got 30 seconds?
I know the story.
Do we have 30 seconds left?
We do.
Okay.
Yes.
So we actually went out in high school a few times, and she didn't like me. She thought I was too fast. I don't know what that means, by the way. I'm going to look that up one day. And so we lost touch. And then about 10 or 12 years later, I was in New York. She had moved to New York City. She was working for the Harlem Boys Choir Academy as their accompanist, playing the piano for them as they were traveling. And a buddy of mine said, hey, Becky lives in New York City now. And I went, really? And so I called her up. And I left her a message, and she didn't respond. And then I called her again, and I actually got her on the phone, and we went to dinner. And kind of the rest is history. So 12 years of not talking or seeing each other, but 12 years later, she decided, hey, I'll give him a second chance, I guess.
Why didn't she respond that first time? Was that ever asked?
I honestly, I don't know if she remembered who the hell I was, for one thing. That might have been it. I kind of have that effect on women.
I know his voice, but what does he look like?
Exactly.
It says telemarketer now on the phone.
Right,
with that.
I know. Who's this asking me about my car insurance? No, so that was it. And so we dated for a year and a half or so, long distance, and then married and been together since.
Fine piece of work, sir.
Thank you. 25 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
25 years.
So what's a day like on WBAP compared to what we've had for a day here? I can see as the,
there's
the
not
set
a bottle
design.
of Woodford in WBAP. I'll tell you that for one thing. There's not that.
There's not two fridges, one filled chock full with alcohol, and the other with nothing, just water.
There's not even a fridge.
You're giving away our company secrets, sir.
Don't
Sorry.
do that. Yeah, don't do that. It starts early, but it's fun. It's
time do you get
fast
up?
paced. Well, I'm actually doing a show from home now, so that actually bought me an hour of sleep, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
So 4:30ish.
4:30.
Yeah.
Before
Show
that,
starts
it
at
was
5.
Before that was 3:30.
3:30-ish.
Interesting.
What time you go to bed?
That's my problem. 10:30.
You watching sports constantly?
I'm watching sport constantly. Yes.
Sport. Yeah, sorry,
JW's
singular.
texting me.
Right.
Woodfords
don't open up until about that time.
Exactly.
We all know.
He's texting me, pushing me back every. Hey, by the way, can you come at 2:30?
Now, when the sport thing, this is what kind of drew me a little bit fuzzy when I noticed that SportsCenter does the reel, right, and it's the same. It's just updates to the same kind of news. When you're watching and doing that, are you saying, is this guy getting this story first? Are you looking for content ideas, or you're looking more?
No.
How does that work?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think if I get the story once, if I see it once, I don't need to see it again.
Yeah.
And so, when I'm prepping for the show, majority of that's online, and so I'm not pulling a lot for. I'll be honest with you, at night, because you said, hey, what are you doing at up till 10 or 10:30? Once the kids go to bed, 9-ish or so, Beck and I will usually try to kind of catch up on the day, maybe watch one TV show that we're watching, one episode of one.
What is that right now?
The Waltons.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's on Netflix?
No.
Is it a sports documentary?
It's not a sports documentary. It's not about Bill Walton.
With John Boy?
No, yeah, exactly. Actually, no. I tell you what, that's a great question though, because are you guys at that point now when you see people your age, your peers, the conversation will turn to something and you go, hey, what are you watching?
Yeah.
We're at that point, and I've had friends who are, hey man, I need another show.
My wife is on the last episode of Breaking Bad tonight. She's going to watch it. I can't. I tapped out at like 3 episodes.
Is that a new show? I haven't heard of it.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
I mean, it's like I can't deal with the tension. Like I got enough in my life. I don't need more.
So what are you watching, Britt?
So I recently watched that Paul McCartney, Rick Rubin documentary with 3-2-1, where he's like going through and breaking it down. And then I've got this great new one called Tales from the Tour Bus, which is Mike Judge, who did like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
I watch comedy and documentary. That's it.
That's
like,
okay.
You know,
Nice.
I'm not into heavy drama.
See, and I like
got
drama.
that in my life with JW.
With JW, yeah. We like drama. We just finished Tehran. Have you seen that?
I have not. No.
It's on Apple TV. That's pretty good.
What is
Nice.
it?
It's a story about a spy who works her way into Iran.
Oh, that's
stuff
probably pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like stuff like that.
Not to get in the middle of your guys' conversation, but I have.
What did you want to?
Well, I was
Are
wondering.
we off course already?
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's all we
Wow,
ever do
imagine
here.
having this show.
If we can digress a little bit off from WBAP radio to play-by-play radio, which you've done so eloquently and wonderfully for so many years. What is the best game? I think I might know the answer. What's the best game you ever broadcast?
Well, no, that's the biggest. The biggest game and my best broadcasts are probably different.
What's the answer to both?
The biggest game would be the Rose Bowl. Yeah, that win would be. I think that would be it. The best game that I may have done, oddly enough, may have been the NIT championship
Up in Madison Square.
Madison Square Garden.
I was at both events, and I heard your recordings.
Yeah,
so.
and so that would probably be it. But I mean, some days you have good days. Some days you always. I go back and I listen to every game. Mm-hmm. That's what I do on Sundays. So Sundays, I usually get up really early on Sunday mornings, work on Monday's radio show. Then I start listening to the game. Then we'll go to church, and I'll come back and I'll finish the game, usually outside. I'll have it playing outside while we're in the pool or working in the yard or jacking around.
Oh, you do the same as we do. Force our family to listen?
Yeah.
I do the same.
I don't force my family to listen. They wouldn't. But
that's when Becky goes to the Woodford.
Exactly. She's in the Woodford.
Oh, my God. This again.
Right. But no, so I think it's important to go back and listen.
I do too.
Because if not, you don't get a good. Your wife will be a good constructive criticism for you. She'll give you a good constructive criticism.
Wife's constructive criticism?
Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
exactly.
Okay.
But your friends won't. Yeah, your friends won't though. Your friends will go, "Oh man, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Oh, you sound great.
Yeah.
And you go back and you listen. Oh, that was crap.
What kind of stuff do you try to pick up on to improve?
Just making sure I'm giving the right name, making sure I'm giving the right tackle. Am I giving you the yard? Am I giving you the correct yardage? Am I giving you down at distance? Am I telling you time and score enough? So there's all kinds of things that I kind of keep in my mind that I'm checking off the list. And I can tell, if I'm in a 4-minute sequence and I haven't heard the score, I'm like, what are you doing? Come on, dude. You should know better than that. So
good to know that.
So I go back and listen to that.
That's a lot of stuff to listen to too over the years. But I think you've
have you like perfected that craft over there? Like where you're getting that info? Like is it getting harder or easier to get that info?
Oh no! I mean, gathering information's easy now.
Oh yeah,
it's much easier.
Mm-hmm.
But you're always in chase. I'm always in chase of perfection. I've never had the perfect game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Give us 5 things since that high school game that you called one of those first ones, and now as far as those attributes go that you have, like that's make it exponentially easier for you. You don't even need 5, just a few.
You go back to when I was 14 calling a 2A girls basketball game. There's a lot of changes. One is accent.
How did that sound like, Brian?
Awful. I've got a copy of it. I don't even know if I can do the accent anymore. But I also didn't know the opponent players' names.
Okay.
So I would just call them by their numbers. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I gave the score as much. There's all kinds of things like just fundamentally, just blocking and tackling in broadcasting. I wasn't doing as a 14-year-old that hopefully I'm doing now. Hopefully.
Do people still do this thing they used to do it in college where they would watch the TV but then turn on the radio?
Yes, still do.
Surely.
Yeah.
Is it synced up or is there a delay?
Can be. Depends. With digital formats now, it's a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. They actually make a thing called, I think it's called Sports Sync. I think it's what it's called. It's a little box that you can install in your house. It'll sync it up for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see. We don't see it as much anymore because of the delay. But you used to see people in the stands with their headphones on, listening while they were watching the game. In the stand, live and in person. So
is that because radio does it better than TV and always has, or vice versa? Yeah, well.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, we do. But think about it. We're more descriptive. It's my job to be your eyes. Mm-hmm. And so when you've got television, here's the other thing. A radio broadcast of a game is about the play-by-play guy. Not, and I don't mean that from an ego standpoint.
You're tooting your hand.
But what I'm saying is, it's my job to give you the description of what's going on. Television has pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that play-by-play guy doesn't have to tell you what's going on. You can see it. Television's about the analyst.
Yep.
You know, the analyst is giving you, why did that just happen?
That makes sense.
On radio, I'm telling you what's happening. That's more important.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big. I mean, I've done radio and television. TV's a lot easier. It's a lot easier
because you don't have to put that much.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I mean, the pictures do the talking.
That's interesting to hear. Yeah. One of my favorite things, truly, is seeing somebody at the games, the TCU games, listening on the radio. You know, they're listening to you. And I think that's really a cool thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. And hey, it means a lot to me when I see that. And I try to make a point when I see those folks thanking them.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was you speak about your best broadcast ever?
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst experience you've ever had on a broadcast?
Yeah, I mean, you know, knock on wood, you guys have metal tables. I think I've been fortunate and I haven't had a total meltdown. You know, I spilled coffee on my pants at Northwestern and had to take them off one time.
Okay.
Were you playing that game?
Tell us
Were you
more.
playing that game? No.
I was, yes.
Were you playing in Evanston?
I was, yes.
Yeah. And
Didn't you remember seeing him pantless at the bus stop?
I remember looking up in the press and I saw this man in his underwear.
Exactly. You thought,
broadcasting.
Why is Harry Carey here? That's what you're thinking. Now,
we have some of those glasses.
Exactly. But so, I mean, I've had stuff like that. I've had power turned off, you know, things of that nature, but nothing that you couldn't recover from.
Was that purposeful, the power turned off?
He was on the road. It's never at home.
Right.
Yeah. You know, probably. But, you know, but nothing that we didn't recover from. You know, I like to think, you know, there's a lot that I don't do very well, but I think there's one of the things that I try to be decent at is being flexible. And, you know, if there is some sort of, you know, if there is chaos around me, I can tend to kind of work my way through that.
Do you want to ask this question or do you want me to? Because I know this is. So the thing on everybody's mind is the Big 12 right now with all the mess. Do you have any thoughts you can share briefly on what's going to happen? What you know?
I don't know that I know anything. I don't know that I know any different than you. What we read, what we see. News came down today, you know, about this scheduling alliance. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think there was anything to that until we start to see it more and more today.
See, he's legally bound.
I know.
Somebody told him. They gave him the gag order before coming over.
Just say Pac-12. We'll see if he winks at us.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
You know, I would think that there would be an opportunity potentially in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
I think culturally TCU fits better in the ACC.
Right.
But I'm also about trying to save the Big 12 if we can. I mean, you know, let's face it. I mean, you can't keep. Well, you can, but it's hard to keep building rivalries.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, at some point we need to play Baylor. You know, at some point we need to play Texas Tech. We need to play, you know, find Oklahoma State, whoever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep building those rivalries. And if we have to go out and add 4 more teams, let's do it. I'm ready to add 4 teams today. You know, let's go get them.
Who do you add in your mind?
It's easy. Central Florida and South Florida, BYU and Colorado State.
Done.
Yeah,
Sounds
because
easy.
Think about what I'm adding now. Because you got to add to the top of your league.
You're adding big markets.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm adding. I'm not adding teams that are better athletically. I'm not adding schools that are better academically. But I am adding Tampa, Orlando, Salt Lake, and Denver. 4 big markets, 4 hot markets. Don't give me Cincinnati. Don't give me Memphis. I've been there, done that.
When you were young, Brian, who did you aspire to be like? Who did you want to be like in this
business?
You
would know him.
Is it General Kershaw?
No, you wouldn't know it. No, you know, remember now, I grew up in South Carolina. So
right.
I've been here, 23 years. But I grew up in South Carolina. I grew up listening to South Carolina Gamecocks, a guy by the name of Bob Fulton called the games.
Okay.
Big, deep, baritone voice, older guy, had been doing it for 30 years.
Check.
Yeah. And so if you went back and listened to a Bob Fulton game, and then you listen to me, you'd probably hear a little bit.
Okay.
So it would be him.
Did you mimic him? Like, did you get a mic and stuff? And like,
when I was a kid, I would turn the games would be on television. I'd turn the sound down and I would call the game.
That's how you got good at it.
Started.
Would your folks listen or would your family?
Yeah, I think they always. I think they knew that I would either be. I think if you ask my folks, they would tell you that I would be. I've been one of 3 things. I would have been an announcer. I would have been a politician, or I would have been a preacher. One of the 3.
Interesting.
So,
astronaut wasn't in there like JW's
have
future?
you seen my grades? So,
yeah, same problem.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen yours straight up.
Oh, that's there. There we go.
He's just staring at me. That's all he has to see.
Yes.
So, aside from the marriage to the lovely Becky
right.
and your 2 children,
right.
what is the best day of your whole life?
So take away my wedding day and take away the birth of the 2 kids.
Yes.
Best day of my life.
Is it? If it's today, you can say that. Don't be embarrassed. But today could be if you want.
It has been for others.
It could be.
Most
could be. You know, that's a great. I try to, and this is going to sound corny. I try to have a really good day every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try to smile. I try to joke. I try to have fun. I try to, you know, I try to go through the emotions every day. I mean, maybe that's a real corny answer, but I don't know that one is I don't know that one is greater than the other. My daughter was baptized a month ago. That was a pretty big day. That was a real. It's
intentionally hard question to answer, and people go around it and come back to family like you just did all the time.
Really?
So, yep, all the time.
Yeah. But you know what? You're in a job where things change every day.
Constantly.
So it probably, you almost have to have that to be successful, I would think.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to hear kind of the same. You have to come with that new open and objectiveness, right? To that.
No, I think that's fair. I think that those are all. I mean, but it seems like, I'll be honest with you, I can't think of a day where something good didn't happen to me. And believe me, I think about that a lot. I think about, you know, in your private time, in your quiet time, I do think about how I do sit back and go, dadgummit, I'm pretty blessed. Mm-hmm. You know, and why has this been good? Why has this been so good? Mm-hmm. You know, why am I this lucky? Because you do see, you know, friends and family who suffer or who have gone through tough things in their lives. And not to say that I haven't, but it's just like, man, every day I get up and go, it's all right.
It's a very good Jimmy Valvano answer. I like kind of some of those thoughts you meant there.
But no, seriously, I do. I think about that every day. That why. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Did you think about that when that coffee spilt on your pants that day?
Yes. You know why? Because I was sitting in the press box at Northwestern in Evanston. It was a beautiful sunny day.
Cold?
No, it was not cold. It was not a cold day.
I was cold.
Yeah, you were probably cold. But JW's on the field. So that made it a better day.
Getting screamed at by Patterson, his coach.
I'm calling a college football game, and I'm calling a team that I've grown to love in TCU, and on the other sideline. See, this is a story you didn't know. On the other sideline is my favorite coach in the world and mentor in Randy Walker.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Randy Walker, I'm just telling you, Randy Walker is in my top 5 of men all time. And to be able to be in that stadium on that day with my britches off, I don't care. To have him on the other sideline, I mean, that was... JW, you don't know this. I don't know that anybody knows this other than my wife. Game's over with. We won, didn't we?
We lost.
No, we lost.
We lost.
TCU lost, right. That's what made it more. Yeah, TCU loses. After the game, I kind of slow play things because I told the guys, hey, Becky and I are going to stay in Chicago.
So I can wash my pants.
Yeah, so I can wash my pants. So, but we actually stayed with Randy and Tammy Walker.
Oh, nice.
And so after the game, we're at a post-game tailgate with a bunch of their assistant coaches and things of that nature. And I'm there in TCU garb and stuff like that. And then we go to his house, and he has all the coaches over. And, you know, and that to me kind of epitomizes what college football is all about. I mean, I really wanted TCU to win that day. I wanted JW to make a tackle, please. I mean, those 2 offensive linemen whose last name both ended with a vowel, those 2 big Polish guys, they were crushing it.
Right.
You know, make a tackle, please. Oh, yes. But at the end of it, you know, we could all sit around and laugh and love and, you know.
Says JW's not thinking that right now.
He wasn't happy.
They had a linebacker
Walker.
by the name of Pat Fitzgerald, who's now their coach.
Who's actually pretty good, isn't he?
Did I ever tell you my partner plays the pedal steel, by the way?
No, yes. But I can imagine.
It's a beautiful instrument.
Right.
He's quite good.
Crying in the night.
For some reason, I would guess he also runs a unicycle, but that's a totally different story, right?
Well, you might have a company called Red Voice Productions,
right?
But your golden throat is legendary around these parts. We're grateful to have you on our show.
Is that it?
We love you, Brian.
Am I done?
We love you.
I drove all this way.
Is there any other craziness you want to share?
I've got like 10 or 15 more stories to share.
We'll do it in the outtakes.
This will be episode number 2 next week.
Number 2?
The 3-hour episode.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian, for joining us.
See you, boys.